As energy prices hover near the fiscal stratosphere, these are frightening times for a lot of people. But how did we get here? And what's the reality of our oil situation?
Peak oil, which is the point of maximum production of oil,
really is that big thing that's the elephant in the room.
Tonight, we'll examine oil myths, oil facts.
These plastics, petroleum-based.
peak oil is coming very soon. The report found most experts project a peak and subsequent decline in world oil production could occur without any warning anytime between now and 2040.
We hear hopeful signs that there's plenty more oil to come. Tremendous discoveries in our own Gulf of Mexico.
From our friendliest supplier right across the border is now in irreversible decline.
Average of 6 barrels of oil just to bring 1 cow to market.
Maybe 90% of the people that follow oil are absolutely convinced that prices have now peaked. There's a bubble. It's all speculators, so forth. My guess is that the speculators are all short.
Partial myth. Shale oil is indeed abundant, but it requires massive amounts of water and energy, two things that will be scarce.
Everyone just looks at the supply side.
They're not going to open up ANWR. That isn't going to happen.
A lot of fingers that point back to the political tension and stalemate in
the U.S. is vulnerable and the government is unprepared for unacceptably high risks of oil supply shock. The quality and the availability of data concerning oil reserves makes it very difficult to make accurate projections. It's a problem.
Sadly, there isn't a systems approach that's been taken in Washington, D.C. To addressing the long-term peak oil problem.
It's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
5 alternative sources of energy will fill the gap. Myth.
We're not going to run Walt Disney World and Walmart and the interstate highway system on any combination of solar, wind, tar sands.
Isn't it possible that we're going to discover vast new reserves, say, off the coast of Africa that are going to replace those declining reserves?
We are now, but what does it all mean?
You can't escape the problems very easily. You have to think them through.
We have a lot of gasoline stations that are now closing because they can't afford to be in the business.
The electricity is generated with fossil fuels as well.
Supply's not growing. What about, within those 6 years, could we see some significant changes in energy policy or not likely?
Well, you can see a lot of changes, but none of them would actually have any impact on the market.
Today, we do struggle with the data.
And oil really is that big thing that's
care of the energy problem here. So we have to get smart on how we're going to handle it.
Right now, it's politics that is determining our choices, not physics.
Any candidate who you think is sitting up and listening.
On energy, I haven't heard anybody say anything that impressed me that they know much.
If the public understood better what energy is, how it is used, how important it is, and that you absolutely never can recycle it, we would get at the solution more quickly.